What if I told you that discipline doesn't have to suck? You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m., run marathons, and scream at yourself in the mirror just to be consistent. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down how you could build discipline in a way that feels effortless. So grab a pen, sit down, and take some notes. Here's the thing. Most people have a warped idea of what discipline actually is. The moment they hear the word, they think of David Goggins, Jocko Willink, or some other beast on Instagram doing ice baths at 3 a.m. But that's only one form of discipline, and it's not the only way. Nor is it the most effective for the majority of people. You see, what if I told you that discipline could feel natural, even enjoyable? I'm sure that you would think I'm crazy or that I'm selling you some bullshit shortcut, but just hear me out. I'm gonna walk you through a different approach, one that works with your psychology instead of against it. So I only ask that before you judge, you watch this video the whole way through, because by the end of this video, I'll be giving you a formula that will change the way that you view discipline forever. But first, let's lay down the foundation with some key points. Number one, your current definition of discipline does not serve you. Most people define discipline as something hard, something that hurts. But the actual definition is the practice of training oneself to follow rules, standards, or a code of behavior to achieve a specific goal or maintain order. Nowhere in that definition does it say doing insane actions for an unsustainable amount of time or beating yourself up when you fall short. Discipline simply means showing up every day. And soon I'll show you how to do that using a powerful formula. Number two, discipline is about alignment, not comparison. Most people copy habits that they see online. But if you're following a routine without understanding why, it's not real discipline. It's just mimicry rooted in insecurity and comparison. True discipline is authentic. It's when your habits align with who you want to become. And when that alignment is there, discipline feels easy because it's yours. Number three, you don't force discipline. You become the person who acts effortlessly. You see, most people operate from this outdated model. Do, have, be. They think that if I do this thing, then I'll get that thing and become the person I want to be. But that's backwards. And the real path is be, do, have. Be the person first, and doing becomes natural and having becomes inevitable. When discipline is rooted in identity, it becomes automatic. See, it's not about pushing yourself, it's about being the person who simply does the thing. Now that we've laid the foundation, let's talk about a formula that actually builds real discipline. You see, it's simple, but most people overlook it. And that is consistency over intensity. That's it. Not flashy, not viral, but it works. It is the most underrated principle for building any habit, mastering any skill, or becoming the person that you want to be. Now, let me break down why this principle is so powerful and how I've managed to apply it in my own life to see real results. You see, the reason this concept works so well is because most people, when they try to start a new habit, especially one that requires discipline, they go all in from the start. They think they need to push as hard as possible, no days off, no excuses, just full hardcore mode. Now, I'm sure that might work for a few days, maybe even a week, but eventually they crash, they burn out, and they fall off. Let's take the gym for example. I've seen it so many times. People get inspired, motivated, and ready to change their life. So they hit the gym for 2 to 3 hours on the first day. No plan, just willpower and hype. They do that for a few days or a couple of weeks, then life hits them, their energy dips, and their motivation fades away. And then they're back to square one. Why? Because they started with intensity instead of consistency. But you see, that was me. I would get so fired up, set these big goals, and go all in on day one. Whether it was the gym, meditation, reading, starting a business, training, I would go all in for a couple of days or weeks and then eventually crash. Why? Because deep down, I was comparing myself to the people that I'd seen online. The disciplined beasts, the high performers, the winners. And I convinced myself that I wasn't working at their level. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't worthy. I wasn't serious. And you see, that mindset killed my progress. And what I didn't realize was trying to live life at someone else's pace is the quickest way to burn out and stay stuck. I thought I was being ambitious, but really, I was operating from my ego. I didn't want to look weak, and I didn't want to admit that I had to start slow. But the truth is, if I had have dropped my ego and gone at my own pace, I would have made way more progress. You see, discipline isn't a race, it's a marathon. And the moment that I started to go at my own tempo, that's when I started to grow. And truth is, most of the people that you see online would have started small ages ago. They've just increased the intensity with time to where they are today. So if you're anything like I was, going 100 miles an hour, here's how you can apply the consistency over intensity formula using minimum viable discipline. Now, what does that mean? Minimum viable discipline means starting a habit so small, so easy that it is nearly impossible to fail. Because you see, you don't build discipline by doing something big once. You build discipline by doing something small every single day until it becomes who you are. Some examples of what this could look like is instead of going for 2 hours to the gym, you start with 30 minutes. Instead of meditating for 30 minutes, you start with 2 minutes. Instead of reading a whole chapter, you read 1 page. At first, your ego might resist. It'll tell you that it's not enough, that you should be doing more, it's not going to get you anywhere. But remember, doing something small every day beats doing something big once. The goal here is not to impress anyone. The goal is to show up and become consistent. With time, you will increase the intensity of your habits to a point where they seem almost impossible to another person, but let's just start humble for now. And once you start showing up every day and being consistent, momentum will take over, your confidence will build, and suddenly this little habit has become a lifestyle. And that's how you build discipline. It's not about force, it's by becoming someone who doesn't need motivation to move. Okay, well, now you might be thinking, what about the intensity? Do I do the bare minimum forever? Absolutely not. The key is you start with consistency and you grow with intensity. Let me explain with a single comparison. In strength training, there's a principle called progressive overload. It means that with time, as your muscles adapt, you increase the weight, reps, or difficulty of the exercise to keep your muscles growing stronger. But you see, you don't start with 100 kilos on day one. You start light, perfect your form, and as time goes on, you earn the right to increase intensity because your muscles are getting stronger. And that is exactly how discipline works. You don't sprint at the start, you walk, you jog, and then you run. Intensity becomes sustainable only after consistency becomes natural. And when you build discipline this way with the right foundation, you don't fall off, you don't burn out, you just build discipline in a way that feels enjoyable. Now, there are a few things that I would like you to keep in mind. Firstly, there will be days where you don't feel like showing up. That's inevitable. But the thing is, those days won't feel nearly as bad as they would if you were going with the intensity first approach. Also, as you progress, you'll inevitably face plateaus. These are moments where things feel stagnant. But this is where consistency over intensity is the most important. If you do hit a plateau, you might have to drop your intensity a little bit just so that you can keep showing up. The key is consistent adjustment and flow. And lastly, yes, you will need to put in effort, but it's not struggle. It's something that you actually enjoy. I hope you found this video valuable. If you did take notes, please leave them in the comments for everyone else to read and send this to someone who needs to hear this. If you would like to reach out to me or you have any questions, message me on my Instagram at TheTomDim. I would love to connect and answer any questions that you may have. But anyways, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.